I am delighted to be here at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention with Dave Kubal, Intercessors for America.
Yeah, welcome. Good to be with you, buddy.
So tell me about Intercessors for America. How did this come about? Obviously, it's about prayer.
Well, actually, John, almost 50 years ago, Derek Prince challenged a group of people to take on the opportunity to shape history through prayer and fasting. And he had just come out with this book, Shaping History Through Prayer and Fasting, which kind of revolutionized the prayer movement in the United States in the early 70s. And the ministry's been going strong ever since. I've only been around a little over 10, so I'm not old enough to be a founder, just to be clear.
Okay, gotcha.
But those that started the ministry, some are still involved. They're in their 80s and 90s, and some of the most wonderful, godly people I've ever met.
So what happens when you're a part of IFA? I'm assuming that obviously we're praying, but there's more to it than just lift up our prayer.
Well, simply put, IFA, Intercessors for America, is three things: news, prayer, and action. That's it. We present a biblical perspective of the news. We give people an opportunity to pray about that, and then we give them ways to be active in the civil arena.
Wow.
Yeah.
It goes without saying, there's a lot to pray about for America.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the biggest issues that you guys are focused on right now?
Well, when you think of the domestic issues, I think that most believers would think that the largest overarching thing that we need to be praying about is be praying for life. The case before the Supreme Court that was heard in December, that now they're writing the opinion on, the Dobbs case, has the opportunity to push the life issue to the state level. And that has the opportunity to have a dramatic impact, not only on what happens in the states with people and babies, but also the spiritual tone of this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now I know that you guys have recently started a strong emphasis in prayer for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Tell me about that and how people can get involved in that.
Well, John, it's kind of a miraculous story. A couple of years ago, we were approached by a group of men from Ukraine, and they said, we want to start Intercessors for Ukraine. And it was like, how did you ever hear about us, So anyways, we got to know them, and they're a wonderful group of guys, and they taught me that people in Ukraine, they're just like us in America. They believe their country is unique, has a unique destiny because God created it.
Right.
They're believing God for revival and awakening within their country, and they believe that prayer is the most effective way to do that. And so these guys have been working tirelessly for a number of years before we were introduced to them, but then as we've been supporting them and encouraging them, the prayer movement within Ukraine has grown tremendously. Well, little did we know, fast forward now to the unprovoked aggression from Russia that's coming into the country, and the opportunity that we have to minister and to serve the Ukrainian people through the Ukrainian prayer movement is incredible. We've, in a matter of 10 days, if you can imagine this, have purchased the food, boxed, and shipped 1 million meals that will go to the Ukraine. In fact, it may be landing even as we speak in Warsaw. As this is being recorded, it's scheduled to land there today. And then it will be put on 18-wheelers and shipped across the border into a warehouse where the Ukrainian prayer movement will take that and then distribute it. So we're utilizing the Protestant prayer movement within Ukraine to meet the felt needs of individuals there. And it's an incredible opportunity for the gospel at a time when there's incredible hurt, need, and even bloodshed in that country.
Yeah. So I have, probably like the rest of America, been keeping an eye on the news and Facebook feeds and whatnot, and it seems like there have been so many charity opportunities that have popped up almost suspiciously, if I can be honest. It makes you go, I don't know if this money is going to ever make it to a Ukrainian. So in this case, we know we have an opportunity to help directly through Intercessors for Ukraine. Tell me about that, how folks can do that.
Well, let me just assure what you're saying and reinforce it. Intercessors for America, Intercessors for Ukraine, we're not relief organizations. We're not set up to do this, But what we can do is we can take the hundreds of thousands of dollars that have come in through American donors and send that directly. I mean, we're sending it directly to Intercessors for Ukraine, and so the best way to do that, of course, you can go to our webpage, Intercessors for America. Just Google that. The website is ifapray.org. But we've set up a sub-page, ukrainemeals.com, and you can go and you can donate there, and you can also sign up for alerts on what's been going on in Ukraine. But it says on there for a $50 gift, you literally can feed a family for nearly 2 weeks. The beauty of the way we've packed these meals is it's very portable. If you are transporting 18-wheel or whatever in Ukraine, you are likely to be shot at by the Russian army. But our meals are packed small enough that you can put them in the trunk or in the back of a minivan, they call them minibuses over there, and transport them without getting the attention of the Russian army.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So this is literally directly going straight to Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Which, you know, and I'm imagining extremely low, if not no overhead costs, right? I mean, administrative costs and those kinds of things. It's just food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, you know, I don't know if people know this, but when you do a credit card donation, there's a 1.25% credit card fee. Yep. I mean, we're just trying to cover that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Just so that we don't go in the hole doing something that we've never done before. Right. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm saying 98% is going over there. We're just trying to do it in a way that we don't go under.
So, what are some specifics that we can pray? Obviously, we know that there's this global tension. There's talk of the Ukrainian church and how it's under attack and how these congregations are being spread.
Oh, yeah.
You know, pastors are having to flee, all this kind of stuff. What are some specific things that people can pray that IFA, IFR, IFU can, there needs to be an IFR, right?
Yeah, good point.
But what are some specific things that people can lift up in their prayers?
Well, I mean, this is real stuff here. He is from a city on the Russian border, Sumy, which if you followed the news, I mean, that's been bombed heavily. And as we record this today, 4 days ago now, his associate pastor was killed in the shooting that was going on in the city. So for those believers, those pastors that have chosen to stay behind to help, and there are a number of them, pray for courage, pray for safety. I mean, this is real. One of our other leaders in Dnipro, he has a bomb shelter in the basement of his church. His church was built right after World War II, and they put a bomb shelter in it. And so they can fit 200 people in this bomb shelter. And he's probably maybe 300 kilometers away from the border. So all of these refugees are coming through. And it's really close to the nuclear power plant that the Russians took over there in the southern part of the country. And so, you know, just courage and wisdom for them to know how to make it through the day. We had a request yesterday for $80,000 I mean, if you can imagine, you know, with the millions of people, tens of thousands of babies, and how are they even fed? And so we're trying to figure out, even as we record this, how we can get money over there. They will purchase the baby formula, in this case, in Europe, and then transport it into Ukraine. So they just need the funds to do that. Yeah.
Sure. You know, it's been interesting as some of the news has come out where you see that Ukraine is supernaturally fighting harder than anyone expected. Not getting taken over. Like these terrible torrential rains that are keeping the muds.
Yeah.
The Russian can't advance.
Yeah.
You have to believe that's the hand of God.
Yeah, you really do. And even our boots on the ground are confirming that. In the early first week or so, we were getting reports. I don't know what the news was saying, but our reports on the ground were saying that for every one Ukrainian soldier that was killed, 50 Russian soldiers were killed. a global superpower comes in, attacks a small country, and they lose soldiers at a ratio of 50 to 1. That's supernatural. And that really was one of the rallying points for the intercessors that are in the country, saying God is behind us. And, to emphasize that point, patriotism just continues to increase and grow and grow. And the Ukrainian people, they're strong people, and they're not backing down on this now.
Yeah,
so.
For real.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, Dave, we've got such a need to pray, not only for Ukraine, definitely for our country.
Yeah.
As we see, it feels like time is spinning down.
Yeah.
It feels like these there's just so many things to point at.
Yeah.
But what I'm encouraged by in Scripture, the encouragement is not to try to figure out the times and the seasons and the days. The encouragement is to strengthen your prayer life.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible tells us to do. So as you see the world spinning, pray.
Yeah.
And I know that folks can benefit by being a part of Intercessors for America.
Well, and if people want to know how to pray specifically, and they want to know what the truth is, you can go to Intercessors for America. We post 6 to 8 news articles every single day. We curate the news from truthful sources, from a biblical perspective. So a lot of people tell us that they're done with the traditional news media.
Yeah.
So they just get their news from us, and then they enter the community of people to pray. So just thanks for the opportunity, John, to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the website is IFA Pray. That's where you can find out information about the Intercessors for America organization, but also what God is directing them to do for Ukraine and all those kinds of things. So thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.